So will Bitcoin be the global reserve currency?
I think at least within the crypto economy, yes. And I think I don't think one's not going to take over the other. It'll be more of a complement. But in the crypto economy, which I think will grow to be a larger and larger percentage of global GDP, yeah, Bitcoin will be the reserve currency.
All right. Well, Brian, we'll end on.
There can be a centralized East versus a decentralized West, and which would sort of give the West and Western values, broadly, a chance in this new changing world order. I don't think that most people in the U.S. are really thinking about this yet, and they still are probably have a little bit of their head buried in the sand. But if that is the way that the world is going, I do think it's even more important that the West embraces decentralized cryptocurrencies as a way to have the de facto reserve currency, if you will, in this new global world order. So it's a little bit like what happened with the internet. Certain countries, China, North Korea, they actually said, hey, this internet that's global, we're not really okay with that. We're going to make our own heavily filtered or even private internet. And I think there's going to be a couple countries in the world, probably North Korea and China again, that have private central bank digital currencies, and they try to cut off the decentralized cryptocurrencies. That should be a signal to us in the West and Western liberal values broadly, countries that are aligned to that we probably don't want to replicate that. We probably want to embrace the decentralized global cryptocurrencies, and this will create free trade, economic freedom, more stable currencies. I think it's a very positive thing for the world, and so I hope that many people embrace crypto for
companies. And should we expect more Wall Street partnerships out of Coinbase?
Well, in every deal that we go out there and meet with other companies, there's others they probably speak with, but I think they chose Coinbase in this case because we are a public company. We're based here in the United States. We've invested heavily in cybersecurity and in compliance and being the most trusted player out there. And so that was a 2-year diligence process that we went through with them, where they really put us through the same process they would with any kind of partner in traditional financial services. And it showed that I think we can participate at that level with other companies, even the Fortune 500 companies of the world. So that's a great.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Brian Armstrong says that Bitcoin is going to be the global reserve currency in the crypto economy. And what's the crypto economy? The robots, algorithms, and drones. And he talks about the change in the New World Order. The U.S. has its head in the sand, and we know that is facts. And he said it's going to be a centralized East and a decentralized West. But guys, we know the whole global economy is going to be centralized. Why? That's why it's called the central bank. We have a few corporations that own everything. It's the illusion of choice. And speaking of corporations that own everything, it's BlackRock. BlackRock teams up with Coinbase. And like Brian Armstrong stated, when crypto is down, people get distracted. And that's the reason why the masses don't invest in the stock market. The same reason why they don't invest in crypto when they're at their lows. That's the time when you make investments. I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. But when a stock seems like it's dead, but you clearly know the fundamentals and you know the New World Order is behind it, you know it's going to come right back up. We've seen it time and time again on the stock market and then time and time again on crypto. So guys, keep this in mind. The whole global economy is going to be brought to its knees, and everybody's going to lose faith in the system. And what's going to come? We know the NWO caused the problem. Wait for the reaction and run in with the solution. Blockchain, robots, algorithms, and drones are going to save the economy because the people have lost trust in the people that's running it as far as politicians, leaders, and corporations. So they already have the solution. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Try to predict the future. I think there's this famous saying, economists have successfully predicted 9 of the last 2 recessions. So obviously we're in a bit of a down cycle here, but it's not unusual for us. We've been through 4 cycles like this as a company. We're only 10 years old. This one just happens to coincide with the broader macro environment coming down. So we all hope it'll be 12, 18 months and nice recovery, but you obviously have to plan for it being longer than that. And so that's how we think about it, and we don't try to get too cute about predicting the future.
Does it feel different, this downturn, because of some of the macro factors? You've got inflation, potential recession risk, rising rates. Crypto's been through these downturns, but nothing like the backdrop we've seen in terms of the economy right now. Is it feeling a little different?
Actually, no, it feels the same, I think, from our point of view. When crypto goes down, everyone gets very pessimistic and there's fear, and, they just get distracted, they move on to other things. And when crypto is, running up and they think it's everything, and there's irrational exuberance. And so neither one is true. We always say that we have this saying internally I like to repeat a lot, which is, it's never as good as it seems, it's never as bad as it seems. And I think one of the reasons Coinbase has been so successful over the last 10 years is we try not to get focused on short-term ups and downs, and we just zoom out and we think about, okay, well, 5-10 years from now, are more people going to be using crypto? Probably. Is the internet going to be more widely distributed? Probably. Is there going to be more e-commerce and more digital payments? And so these are all tailwinds that are long-term trends. And so if we just don't get distracted and we keep building great products, we're going to do fine over the next 5 or 10 years.
Brian, it's been a pretty brutal year for Coinbase's stock, down about 80% from the high, 70% or so from this year. What should investors know, and what should give them confidence that you're going to turn the stock and the company around?
Yeah, so I think it's always important to separate what's in our control, what's not in our control in this kind of market. And of course, the broader macro environment, we don't control that. We don't even control the crypto markets. And so if you look at that, I think we're down roughly in line with our peers, right? So I try to put that part aside, focus on what we actually do control. And the things we can control are what products we focus on building, how are we managing our costs in this environment, making sure that we're well capitalized through any down period. We were really fortunate last year to go out and raise $3 billion of debt at a very attractive rate. So it's making sure that we can continue to invest not only in our core products, which are driving the profitability today, but using the profitability of those core products to invest in a little bit of the future too, so that we come out of this cycle even stronger.
And you guys have about $6 billion on the balance sheet, is that right?
A little more, yeah, it's a little over $6 billion.
What's the plan for M&A? You guys did some strategic acquisitions in the last downturn. Where are you seeing opportunity, and where might you look to buy other companies right now during the downturn?
Yeah, so obviously I can't speak about any deals that may or may not be ongoing, but suffice to say we're looking closely at every deal that's happening right now. And I think that we haven't necessarily seen prices come down dramatically from where they were, but we're early in this cycle. And it's not all about price. I think we're taking a long-term view of this as well. So if there's a partner or a company that we just think, if we put 1 and 1 plus 1 together, we get 3 or 5 or something, that's a deal that we would do in an up market, in a down market. So I think we're excited about some of these M&A opportunities.
And so executives put a sort of cap on losses at about $500 million. What kind of guardrails are you putting up to make sure that those losses don't go even deeper if this crypto winter lasts longer than you might expect?
Yeah, so at the beginning of this year, and really Q4 last year, we communicated that we were targeting a negative $500 million EBITDA for this year. We're roughly on track to do that despite these kind of very extreme conditions. So I feel good about that. We did have to react quite quickly, and we did a layoff of 18% of employees earlier this year. So I think some of the actions like that, you can never predict the future with business, but you can adapt quickly and try to make sure you're not burying your head in the sand or refusing to look at the truth. And so, I think through that and a lot of great conversations with our board and external folks, we've been able to navigate that environment well so far.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.